Time to open the meeting. So this is the one time a year that I open the meeting. And really it is for board reorganization. So it's 6 o'clock. And I'm looking for a nomination of the chair of the board for this coming up here.
I'd like to nominate Amy Lee for chair.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Happy to do it.
Thank you, Amy.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, meeting's all yours.
All right.
Amy, if you want to just
Yeah, so I need
vote on a
to,
vice chair.
Have a nomination for vice chair. Currently, it's Frank. You want to nominate Frank as the vice chair?
Oh, sure, I'll nominate Frank as the vice chair.
All right, and I'm allowed to second that? Am I
Yeah.
allowed? Yeah, I'm going to second that. All in favor of Frank being the vice chair?
Aye.
All right. Congratulations,
Frank.
Frank. All right, agenda review and disposition. So, I just want to say welcome, Sam.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Happy to be here.
have you. So did you get a chance to read over the minutes from the last meeting?
I did.
Okay, perfect. Is there a motion to,
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
oh yeah, okay, perfect. And I missed, sorry, the agenda. Is there anything else to add? I'm sorry.
All
I
good.
skipped. I was super excited about getting the meeting started. All right, perfect. So the minutes, good to go.
Second.
All right, all in favor of the minutes?
Aye.
Hi.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Privilege of the floor, number 1. Hi, welcome. How are you?
That's it.
That's it.
Anybody
All right.
online?
I got nothing right now.
Nothing to say? All right.
Is this a new setup, Pam?
What?
Is this a new setup?
Mike?
It's Mike,
Yeah,
new
It's a
setup.
nice setup.
All right, and moving on to principal's report.
I've got a lot to report, but I'm going to try to speak relatively quickly. So our enrollment is at 414 as of today, down a little bit since last month. I want to say to the entire community, Kindergarten Connections is scheduled for May 10th. We currently have 12 students signed up for that event. We have sent flyers to every preschool. We have put a notification in the newspaper. We have called the area preschools. So we know there are more kids out there. So please spread the word that if you know anyone who might be a rising kindergartner, we want to get them on our list soon for May 10th. Want to let you know about some school happenings. Jessie Marinowski departed from Plymouth Elementary School and went to the White Mountain National Forest. We had a really sweet send-off to her here. We had her walk the hallways and staff and students said goodbye to her. It was really wonderful. Thank Jessie for her 10 years of work here at Plymouth. We hosted this past Saturday, the building and the community hosted New Hampshire Special Olympics basketball here and at the high school in Ashland and Campton. So that was a wonderful thing for our community. There was Chaos and Kindness was here as a part of that. So thank you to all of the facilities staff and special ed staff who helped make that happen. In the last month, 7th and 8th grade mathalon was at Laconia. We came in second. Grade 6 math meet was here. It was a fantastic event. We had our grade 1 walking field trip to Mumford Sugar House, which was a success. We had successful parent-teacher conferences. Term 3 started and report cards were sent home. Thank you to the front office for making, and really to Jenny Lee for making that happen, because that is a massive undertaking. Most excitedly, we had Cultural Arts Night on March 16th. Great work to all of the art teachers, Jake Stevens, Will Gunn, but a special shout out to Alexis Einen because she took on the bulk of the work of shifting the K-5 artists to being in this building, and that was fantastic. We had a robotics scrimmage at Newfound. PES students once again impressed the judges with their hard work and team spirit. We had our grade 4 through 8 winter concert in the last month. We had the middle school play, Nifty 50s, last week, which was outstanding. I think the singing was really some of the best singing I've heard, so very well done with that. We had town elections and voting in the building as well. Do want to let the board know that I had reached out to the town manager regarding voting and the possibility of it being held in a different location. And they looked into a number of different sites. There is no other site. So at this point, voting does need to stay for the foreseeable future at Plymouth Elementary School. They looked at the senior center and Plymouth State University and at the Armory. So
What about the high school?
we do not own the high school building, and it needs to be held in a building owned by the town of Plymouth. I've learned a lot about the dynamics of that. But I really would like to thank the town manager, Scott Whedon, for really doing his due diligence and attempting to find a different location. In the area of curriculum instruction and assessment, the new reading curriculum was delivered today for next year. Wit and Wisdom. I have placed in front of you a 2-page document that gives a nice overview of that curriculum. I'm not going to go into that right now, but I would like to thank Kristen Kilduff, Michelle Apriliano, Jess Dixon, and Assistant Superintendent Dana Andrews for their help piloting that program this year and then presenting to the faculty at the March faculty meeting. We will also be presenting at the PTA meeting this Wednesday night extremely thorough overview of that program. So thank you to those teachers. We have sent home the assessment schedule for the spring to all parents. It went out last Friday as a tag along to the Friday newsletter, but it's standing alone, just notifying the community that we will continue to participate in SAS testing. And we still have 10 weeks of school left, so there's lots of learning happening still, even though we're going to start to talk about the end of the school year. In the area of wellness, social, emotional, and behavioral health, I want to let you know that the primary wing is working on self-regulation of bodies and emotions. So how do you make sure your body is safe and that you're keeping other kids' bodies safe and that your emotions are regulated and calm. So our student support team is working with all of those homerooms on that. Want to also let you know that Katie, Communities for Alcohol and Drug-Free Youth, has been in during the month of March and the first couple weeks of April in the 5th grade to present a curriculum called Mind Up, which is being aware of the connections between your mind and your emotions. We switched that curriculum a little bit based on some feedback and impressions. And in both the 7th and 8th grade, Mr. Sheehan has presented the Science of Suicide curriculum as mandated, and we did get parental permission for that curriculum. So we're very pleased with the way we're trying to be proactive around mental health in the community. Some student shout outs. We'd like to shout out our CARE winners in the intermediate wing. So 3rd grade, Tenley Tracy won a CARE award. Olivia DeBell won for the 4th grade, and Riley Mask was honored with the 5th grade award for CARE award, which is a nice honor for all of those young people. Big news, student shout out, are the state champion for the spelling bee, Iris Lamoureux, is won at the state level and will be going to Washington, D.C., representing the state of New Hampshire in the spelling bee. So that's really exciting.
Watch out.
Yes, watch out. That's right.
It's awesome.
I would like to do a shout out also for staff for the intermediate wing who has taken on, as a part of our literacy initiative, reading fluency. They've been working really hard on that in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. So shout out to all the teachers in the intermediate wing for digging in deep. Want to remind everyone that there's a PTA meeting this Wednesday night at 6:30 right here. Please come. Even if you don't usually come, it's a special invitation to hear more about our curriculum. We're very pleased with the new site leaders as a part of Cafe Services. We have both a new site lead at the high school and a new site lead here. The communication and quality has been very positive. In the area of technology, I want to let you know that we purchased Chromebook cases for the Chromebook so that we can try to diminish the damage being done to Chromebooks that are going home every night. They have not been distributed yet. We're working on figuring out the best way to get them labeled so that the labels don't come off and get them into the right hands, but that's good. Facilities is next. hold on to your hats. Okay, science classroom, the flooring is going to be done during April vacation. The fire doors will be started, remember we used some funds at the end of last year for that. Those will also, some of those will be installed April vacation. We do have, also during April vacation, the second section of our septic pipes that need to be relined will be relined. We decided we had to do half of that in February, and we have to do half of that in April. That is that's a priority. Also, April vacation, the new dishwasher that's already been delivered will be installed in the cafeteria. And we will be putting in a new spray washer to help with making sure everything is clean. And that is all being covered by ESSER funds. Just to keep you updated, we are moving ahead with the projects planning for this summer. The HVAC system for the gymnasium will be installed this summer, and the boilers, the propane tanks will be installed outside, and the retrofitting for our heating system will be completed this summer. So lots of planning going on for that.
Also covered by ESSER funds.
Also covered by ESSER funds. Want to let you know that the sign at the top of Old Bridge Road should be coming down in the next 48 hours. A new sign is being made that is blue and green.
We are gonna do the exact same sign. There's a lot of opinions about that sign. Boy, if I needed opinions, it was all about the sign dangling from the wire. But the co-op, it is on electrical wire, so we can't just get up and send someone. So the co-op did say they would take it down in the next day or two, and then they said we could put one back up in the same spot. So who knew?
But we think
We're going to replicate the same sign. It was donated by one of the classes. I think it was 1975 or 6 that donated, so we're just going to do the same thing.
I do want to ask the board tonight, in the area of facilities, we have discussed a number of times at the board level this space, the Library Media Center, the potential of enclosing it and having HVAC put in. And in order for us to move ahead with that project, we need to get design work done, which would include mechanical, life safety, fire code, ADA compliance, and new furniture. That design work would cost $14,000. It would be covered by ESSER funding. If we did not move ahead with the project, we would need to pay that money back. So I think that's an important note for all of you to think about.
That's one of the federal guidelines. So you have plenty of money probably to move forward with the project completion, possibly, which is why we've decided to move forward with it. We talked about it a few months ago, Sam, around budget process, because the board decided to defer most of the big projects in the operating budget because of the tax rate and whatnot. We had some ESSER funds to address some of the HVAC systems and the conversion to propane and some of the other equipment pieces, but this library, the Learning Commons was the last piece, and we did get the language to move forward with it. It was questionable whether they would allow it under ESSER, and they're going to. So
Great.
if you allow for the 14,000 to get the plans, the only piece is if you don't move forward with it, you have to pay back the 14,000.
And the further project would also be covered by ESSER, so it's.
Yeah.
When does it need to be completed by in order to be covered by ESSER?
So you've,
2024.
you have to purchase, yeah, it's the following year, yeah.
So
you
the project
purchased all
wouldn't
your
happen
first one.
until next summer, but if we do the design now, finish up the design this summer, buy everything, hopefully, or, put in the POs
You can approve
this
it.
summer so that we can hopefully get it for next summer, because there's still quite a lag time on materials.
That's great.
I thought that for that project specifically, or I guess maybe that's what the 14K will be used for, to like to like
Engineer.
That's what
to
the-
see if it's even a possibility. I
So-
thought that's what.
We did have an initial meeting, Jason Bergeron and myself, with the architect and the the mechanical engineer, I don't know what his actual title is, but he's the person who manages all of, or who knows the building, did the 1990, did the 2010 remodel and knows all of the mechanical systems. And they both think it's possible to do the project, which we wouldn't be moving ahead with the 14,000 unless they thought it was possible to be done. And they actually have some ideas about how to make it less money.
It's always good.
Yeah.
So do you need a vote on that?
Yes.
Are you guys comfortable making, is there any questions that you had for Tanya? Are you have any?
I didn't get to go on the walk that everybody else did at one point. If you wanted to do that at some point, I'd happy to go see the high school media center. Everybody went and did that.
It's being modeled on the high school, is that
A
right?
little bit, I think.
Just more developmentally appropriate for K-8.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's just more collaborative learning spaces, you know, probably shifting from the oak chairs to more different study spaces and
Softer.
reading soft, yeah.
But the idea is to enclose it with the
Yeah.
glass all the way along the brick edge, allowing this space to be air conditioned.
And there is an HVAC component to this.
There is,
room as well.
Tunes out the hallway noise.
which would be positive not only for the air quality within the space, but it's quite challenging. This is the main thoroughfare.
Yeah.
So the
Teaching
noise
it right there,
dynamic
sorry.
is a challenge when you're in here. And then it would also allow us to make this be a more modern learning space with some softer seating nooks. Still a classroom type space for homerooms to come in and be read to and do the classic read aloud, but.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and if we didn't do this now, we'd have to come up with the funds ourselves.
Yeah, so it's something that's been on the capital improvement plan for years. That's just been deferred. It's not
Right.
but since it falls under the eligibility requirement for ESSER, it's a good time to do it to get it done.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Great.
Yeah.
And have someone else pay for it.
yeah.
It's key. So, you
I'm for
wanna,
that.
someone wanna make a motion to
I'll make
move
a
forward?
motion to move forward with it.
Okay, second on that?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor of moving forward with the 14K project?
Aye.
All good?
Thanks
A
for
couple
bringing
more
that up.
things from me, just some upcoming events, and then I wanted to talk about the end of this school year. So tomorrow morning, I wanted to let you know that Plymouth State Dining Services is providing a continental breakfast to the staff of the building and the grounds. Continental breakfast. We are being celebrated as local heroes, and they wanted to do something nice for our staff, so
Nice.
that's wonderful. Want to make sure that Rob Cormier and his crew know about that for tomorrow morning. Tomorrow night is 8th grade move-up night at PRHS, so we're excited to bring our 8th graders over there and have them feel what it's like to walk into the high school. This Friday, we have a middle school dance. It is a PES middle school dance, guests by invitation only. And we have a trivia event for the middle schoolers the week before vacation. And I wanted to say that we did have Read Across America week last week, and we did also have a huge celebration of reading during the month of March with March Madness. Please check out the brackets in the hallway for the books that we read during the month of March. So, last thing from me is that I would like to propose that Friday, June 16th be the last day for Plymouth Elementary School students. It would be a half day. That would mean that the students made up 5 of the 7 days of the snow days. We are still well above the hourly hours requirement of the state. Per the CBA, the teachers would be done on that same Friday, but have 1 day afterwards for classroom cleanup. So the new CBA states that. Graduation would be Thursday, June 15th. Any questions for me about
Do
that?
you need a vote on that? The 17th being the last day.
The
16th.
16th.
Sorry, 16th.
And Thursday the 15th.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
yeah,
So moved.
all right.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor of that?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Athletics.
You all set?
That's a lot of work. I've just been
Hi,
busy.
everybody.
Yeah.
Just a couple of quick things to Joint Loss and Safety Committee. Our next meeting is this coming Wednesday, the 5th. Should be a fairly short and sweet meeting, but just a couple of things like determining our next bus evacuation date and getting our volunteers to do that. We'll take care of that before the April break. We also held a second secure classroom drill back on March 22nd. The faculty and staff and the students did a great job. Thank you again to Plymouth PD for assisting us in the drill. Going on to athletics, one final winter shout out. I know we had some wrestlers moving on to New England, and so our wrestler Scarlett Shannon made the podium at the New England meet back on March 18th in Fitchburg, Mass. She earned a medal as she placed 5th overall in her weight class. And then we had Dalton Kerrigan, who had a tough weight class with, I think, 19 competitors. And he did a great job as a 6th grader and finished 10th overall. So nice job by the two of them representing us. We had sports physicals were held back on March 23rd. Thank you to Plymouth Pediatrics for working with Nurse Sandy to have that done and get a lot of our kids taken care of. And spring sports kicked off today. Amazing. So our baseball team got together bright and early at 7 a.m. this morning in the gym. Track and field and softball teams practice after school. Right now we have overall 85 students signed up, and it was nice to see the kids back in action again. Our first events will hopefully be taking place April 12th is the first track meet, and April 18th for softball and baseball. And yeah, fingers crossed that we have sun and some wind coming at us, and snow and rain takes a long break. I think everybody's looking forward to getting back out on the field as soon as we can. All of our spring event schedules are posted on the PES website. The first 2 weeks of practices are also posted on the homepage calendar, and we'll be updating that as we see what the weather brings us and if we can all get outside onto the field. Right now we're obviously having to share some gym space. One note that we're going to adjust and try this spring is adjusting our travel release forms. Those of you that have kids involved in sports are probably aware of those. When our athletes are at a away venue, parents are there to watch the game and they'd like to take their student home with them. What we've done in the past is there's a form that's filled out, needs to be filled out in advance. I'm signing it, stamping it, giving it to our coaches. We'd like to streamline that process a little bit, make it easier for our coaching staff and for the parents. So what I've just designed was just a simple checklist sheet that will have all of our athletes' names on it, the date, the venue, and then the parent will need to come to the coach, clipboard, sign off their name. Parents may be asked to provide an ID as our coaches are getting to know people, and then they're signed off and released to the parent. We understand that many times you think you can't get to an event, and all of a sudden your work schedule changes and you're able to get there. And you know, we always want to be able to help parents out in those last minute moments. So we're going to make a switch and just go to a clipboard with the coaches. So
Can I
we'll see
ask
how
a
that
question
goes.
about that? Is
Absolutely.
it just parents or guardians that are able to take the kid out? Or if, you know, like a grandmother comes to the game and says, I want to strictly parent or guardian?
Unless there's a
Only.
note,
Unless
we
there's a
would
note.
need,
Right.
Okay, I just
Yeah.
want to make sure
Yeah.
that that
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
clear.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's all you got?
That's all I have.
All right.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome. Thank you. All right, discussion items, 2023-2024 calendar.
So attached to your board packet is the draft calendar that Tanya Kelly worked with the teachers union on. Do you want to briefly review kind of any
Yep.
changes or
So
start day, last day?
I'll point out that August 24th would be the open house. And we're going to move that to 5 p.m. We had talked about it being at 4 p.m., but I met with the PTA and talked to the PTA about that, so we moved it to 5 PM, which is a little better start time for parents if they're working. And then the first day of school would be August 28th. Okay, and then nothing of note in September. It's a regular month of school. In the month of October, I'd like to point out that on October 10th, there is a teacher in-service day scheduled for the 10th. And that is a communal day between all of the elementary schools in SAU, scheduled as a common day between all of the elementary schools for us to continue some literacy training here at PES that day. Then want to point out in the month of November that the parent-teacher conferences would be scheduled for November 7th, which is a Tuesday. And that's out of order, I see. The 10th is Veterans Day, which is also no school. Also would like to point out that for the Thanksgiving holiday, the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th are no school. So the 22nd is not a half day, it is a full no school day for families that want to travel that day. Then in the month of December, the 22nd would be scheduled as a half day. And then the holiday break would be, basically from the 22nd all the way through until January 1st. January 1st also being no school day. It's a federal holiday as New Year's Day. January 15th, no school for Martin Luther King Day. I would like to point out to you that this is an important note. After conferring with Scott Whedon at the town hall, the presidential primary date is unknown at this point in the state of New Hampshire, what that date is. And as we have discussed at the board level, we do not want to be in person on that school day. So that is a floating date at this point. That is an unknown date of no school based on when the Attorney General and the state decides that primary date for. So that's unknown. I don't know a better way to depict that in this document.
It's so tough.
Then February is a regular month. And then in March, I want to point out that we really very much enjoyed that the half day was also the night of Cultural Arts Night. That worked out very well for us, and we embedded parent-teacher conferences. So that would be on March 14th. Again, next year. The Cultural Arts Night is actually decided by the SAU, but I went ahead and put it on this document because I'm Tanya. Sorry, Kyla. So, positive thinking. I do want to point out that we had town voting in the building the Tuesday before that this year. I would assume that would be the same for next year. We felt that being in person, it happened to be a snow day this year. That day is much less contentious in terms of us being in the building at the same time.
Presidential.
Local voting is not as contentious as the presidential.
Are you sure it's going to be January? And I mean, if it's
It could be January or February.
but probably a Tuesday.
I have no idea.
Most of the districts are gonna make that call as soon as it's made. They're gonna, where we have voting in the schools, they're gonna cancel school.
Okay.
April's nothing of note. May is nothing of note. And then, the end of the school year is as depicted in the document.
And that doesn't include any snow days. Right?
Correct.
'Cause we've had some parents ask about that in the past. Right?
So my only question is Veterans Day, is that a new holiday that's added?
No.
And happens to be a Friday, which I kind of think that's
I
great.
know, it's tough, it's that when there's a parent-teacher conference and a holiday.
Yeah.
That's difficult, and I'm just gonna point it out like I do every year for a working parent to have to find coverage for their kids 2 days out of a 5-day week. So I don't know, I bring this up every year, is there another place that we could put the parent-teacher conferences?
We tried to do it on about the 60th day of the school calendar, so that it's after the first trimester. The Tuesday before that is Halloween. We could look at a different day that week. We could do the 1st of November. That would be a great day.
I don't know about that. The day after Halloween. Oof.
Yeah. I just, you know.
I'm sorry.
might
We
like
could, we
Yeah.
could,
It
the
just-
1st or the 2nd, we could do the week before.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, it's 2 days,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have, you know what I mean?
What about on the parent-teacher conference days? Does the A+ program offer anything those days? There's really nothing. And the same on Veterans Day. Yeah.
Is there a big difference moving it from the 7th to say the 2nd or the 1st? I mean, as far as the,
I don't think it matters that much for the teachers. I don't think that's,
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, my opinion is if you could move it to the following week, that would be more convenient for a parent.
afterwards.
Previous week?
The previous
Previous
week,
week.
that's what I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, previous week.
I would just want to confer, what, do I need to confer with?
I think you already consulted.
Yeah, okay. I would probably say the 2nd. I think the 1st is, so I would probably say the 2nd. That would move it to November 2nd. How many, I just want to count the number of school days because we like to get our fall assessments.
I don't know, there's so much that goes into it.
10, 15, 18 is 23.
3. So it's kind of the 2nd.
So it's still, if you just move the day, it's still 17 days.
Yeah. It's not the 60th, it's, What are your thoughts on the 14th?
I would be fine with that too.
Well, it's more time to get the assessments done, which, yeah, don't you think? Yeah.
Later.
14th, we would, I think the 14th.
Does it have to be in November?
In order for it to be meaningful, we try to have it early enough in the school year, so if we need to have a conversation regarding achievement or behavior, that
Yeah, December's kind of late.
December's very late.
It's very late.
For a long break too.
Yeah.
which is
Okay.
not good.
So the 14th,
Yes,
the
please.
following Tuesday?
Yes.
Thank you. Just, you know, working parents.
Mhm.
It's Veterans Day.
Yeah.
Then families are gonna take the 13th off at work and have a really long weekend.
What's that?
That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about too. But I don't know.
We can try it this year, and then we'll see what happens.
So it goes.
Yeah. Do we have to get that, okay by the union?
I've consulted with them.
Okay.
This group makes the final decision.
Okay.
If there is a big concern, we will come back to
Bring
you.
it back.
We'll bring it back, but.
Usually we try to get to the association prior to any changes, but
Okay.
you can approve it pending any
CBA.
further issues, and if there's an issue, we can come back.
Okay.
Sure.
Right.
And those are only there's 2 parent-teacher days and then 1 teacher in service day. So it's really 3 days for that of no school, right? Besides the regular holidays.
Per the collective bargaining agreement, there are 6.
6?
3 before, 1 parent, 3 before, one parent-teacher conference day, one professional development day, and one after the school year
Ends.
for cleanup.
Do you guys have any other questions about the,
So you decided on the
No.
14th?
no?
No.
Okay, so are you guys comfortable making that change to the 14th?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
See
want to
what
be
the
the,
union said. No, just see what
I
they
think
say.
it's a
Yeah.
If they have any
It's good to
issues, we can
stagger it.
discuss
yeah, all right.
Yep.
So we need a motion to approve.
The amended
with the
calendar.
With the amended
I
calendar.
can make a motion to approve the calendar with that one amendment for November 14th instead of the 7th for the parent-teacher conference day.
Seconded pending union discussion.
Pending union discussion, yeah.
Pending the association discussion.
Yeah.
Association discussion.
Yep. All right, all in
Yep.
favor of that?
Aye.
Aye.
Perfect, thank
Great,
you.
thank you.
All right, nominations.
So this is just a courtesy on the public discussion, but nominations will happen in non-public for teaching staff, support staff, and administration. Okay?
Wait, say the three again?
Teaching staff support.
Everyone.
Everyone, okay.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. All right, any other business?
No.
Okay, privilege of the floor, number 2. Hi, Jenny.
Hi. Tanya, in your principal speech, you said something about the 4th to 8th grade concert. You indicated that it had happened, but I don't think it's happened unless I missed it. Oh, I thought you said there was a concert in March. Is there-
That was,
We think I think it was probably cultural arts. I probably misspoke.
okay,
Yes,
okay. There was a concert, but it
Yes.
was the
It was-
6th and up.
Yes, it was a 6 and up. That I
And it is gonna
misspoke.
be a
Yeah.
4th
No, you're right. It was
and up.
6. It was 6 and
We're
up.
working
I
on a song
misspoke.
on the ukulele.
Thank you for the correction.
So I just wanted, I mean, he's excited about it, so I just wanted to make sure that I
Yeah,
had.
what-
Yes, no, I misspoke.
Okay.
Yeah, you did not miss it.
There is gonna be one, right?
There is gonna be-
There's a spring.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
They had so many cancellations in the fall, they couldn't do their ukulele,
Yes.
so really
Yes.
excited about the spring. So I was like, oh my God.
One class did. One class
Is
did.
it?
No, no.
And as a PTA person with a PTA hat on, I just wanted to say a huge thanks to the front office because we are having a fundraiser, and I was able to get all of the stuff sorted by grade, and then they were able to sort it out and hand it out to all the classes. So big thanks to Jenny and to Kathy and Candace and whoever else helped. So thank you. That's it.
Awesome, thank you. Saw your girls up today, too.
Yeah, the chickens. They're legal.
I know, your legal chickens. Perfect, all right, thank you.
Chicken math.
Yep. All right, did everybody sign that document for Kyla? Perfect,
Sam needs to
Yes,
stuff.
I'll take that back.
all right, so we
Sam-
just need
Is
a,
it,
Sam's
is it
had
due
a-
right now? Can I sign
Yes,
it?
usually it's an initial. Yes, you can look at it.
He just needs a little bit more time, I think.
Sure.
Is that
yeah,
okay?
that's totally fine,
You can always take it with you into private session.
No, no,
Yeah.
oh, into, okay,
yeah.
thank you.
All right, so we just need a motion to go into non-public.
I'll make that motion to go into non-public.
Second.
All in favor, going into non-public?
Aye.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
coming
all.
to the meeting, nice to see you all.
Thank you.